Hello everyone, greetings from the Camino de Santiago. Me and my husband were currently hiking the Camino Frances. So we started in France, in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, and we're gonna walk all the way to Santiago and then on to Finisterre, to the ocean. That's the plan. We're already more than halfway there. We're currently in the Meseta. It's very green at the moment because it's middle of May now. And many of you asked what I brought with me in my backpack, so I thought I would do a little pack with me video. And if you also want to see what Everson brought with him, let me know in the comments below and help me convince him that he shows his stuff too. So without further ado, let's have a look into my backpack. So at the moment we're in Lyon. We just had a rest day and now it's time to repack my things, and I thought that would be a good opportunity to show you what I brought. So before this trip, there were basically two things that I did not want to make any sacrifices for this trip because I think they're essential to stay comfortable. And the first one is the backpack and the second one is shoes. And I'm very happy that contrary to the popular advice on which shoes you should take for the Camino, I decided to go with proper hiking boots. They're out of leather and they have Gore-Tex and they have very nice soles, and I have been very glad the last few days that I had them because we had a lot of rain, a lot of mud. It was very slippery. And I also have some custom made insoles inside of them. And even though on the long stretches on the roads I sometimes wish they were a little bit more cushioned, I'm very glad that I brought them. And another thing to consider with those trail runners is that the cushion inside will usually wear out after 600 to 700 kilometers. So if you walk the whole Camino de Santiago, your cushion may be gone as well by the end. So very happy with my choice of shoes. And inside my shoes I have my socks. I brought two pairs of hiking socks, a thinner one that I have here and a thicker one, so I can alternate a little bit between the two of them. Now my daily hiking outfit is always the same. I have one t-shirt, my hiking pants. I brought this very old sweater, dries fast. It's already very old and falling apart on the seams and all those things. It was in my wear at home pile forever, but I thought I would bring it here and then at the end of the trip I'm gonna discard it. And the second item where I did not want to make any sacrifices in terms of comfort is on my backpack, and the one that I decided to go with is from Osprey. It's a 25-liter backpack. So there are two reasons why I decided to go with this backpack. The first one is that it's extremely lightweight. I think it only weighs around 790, 800 grams. And the second reason is that it's extremely comfortable for me to carry. So the backpack has two different torso lengths. I went with the smaller one, and since it's a very lightweight backpack, it has a little bit less comfort than those full-blown hiking backpacks. But since I tried to pack as lightweight as possible, and this is only 25 liters, I don't need all these paddings and cushionings. So even though the straps are extremely thin on this one, and also the hip belt is very thin, it's extremely comfortable for me to carry and I have no problems anywhere. And even though it is so lightweight, it still has a little bit of a frame inside, so I have been very happy with my choice of backpack. And I also really like the organization of my backpack. As you can see here, I have 3 compartments. This first one goes more or less until here. The second one goes all the way to the bottom but is very narrow, and the third one in the back is kind of the larger main compartment. And I use this organization to sort my things by when I need them. So here in the back I usually keep all the things that I unpack at my destination and that I don't need to touch during the day. Here in this middle compartment I keep all the things that I need during my hike but that I don't need to touch once I'm in the albergue at night. And here in the front I just keep miscellaneous items that I want to have accessible at all times. And since we're having a rest day, I did not unpack everything that is in the middle compartment that I need during my hike. So let me just show you what I have in here. So what I have in here are just some extra insoles because sometimes I like to change them out to have a little bit more cushion and a different feeling after a long day. I brought one of those very thin windbreakers. I have a waterproof hat that I use in the rain and also in the sun. I brought just a little scarf, a very lightweight one, and down here I just have a poncho. And this is already everything I have in this compartment, and since it's so narrow and small I can just stack everything up like this. And now it's time to fill the main compartment. So all the way at the bottom, I keep 2 pouches. I just have 1 pouch with some spare items like female hygiene products or extra Ziplock bags or a face mask, things that I don't need all the time, but that they're very handy to have. So I just stuff them at the bottom and leave them there. And in the second pouch, I just keep my laundry kit. So I brought my homemade sink stopper that I cut out of one of those silicone baking sheets. I brought my Sea to Summit clothesline, which is awesome to just hang it anywhere in the room or in the bunk beds. And I also brought a few clothing bags. And this always just gets stuffed to the bottom of the bag. The next item I had to bring was a sleeping bag, which unfortunately is the most bulky and most heavy item that I had to bring. We started in the beginning of April. It's the middle of May now, and many places are extremely cold at night, so I'm very glad that I brought it. And as you can see, I don't put it in any pouch. I just shove it into the bottom of my backpack, and I find this to be the most space-saving way to transport this thing. So I just shove it in all the way at the bottom and try to get it to all the sides. The next thing that I put there, I usually put in this clothes bag. And I brought this one so I can wash my things together with other people and just keep my things separately. And now I also use it to transport my clothes. I brought another bra, which is very soft and also nice to sleep in. 2 more socks. These are kind of thicker hiking socks. And these ones are 2-toe socks, so I can comfortably wear them with my flip-flops. So as you can see, they just have 1 toe separately. And this is what I usually wear in the evenings with my flip-flops. I brought 2 more pairs of underwear together with the one that I'm wearing at the moment. I have a very thin pair of jogging pants, which I use to sleep at night, but also on warmer days when these pants get too warm, I switch to them for hiking, and that has been working very well for me. I brought 1 more t-shirt, which is always my clean t-shirt that I usually wear in the albergues and also for sleeping. And I brought 1 long sleeve t-shirt that I use to layer on colder days. And I brought a pair of shorts for the hotter days that hopefully come at some point. Now these are already all the clothes I brought, but in there I usually keep my Sea to Summit dry bag that I use to wash my laundry on the road, but also when it's a rainy day, I just put this whole thing inside there to protect it from the rain. And another thing that I bring is this packing cube, which is very lightweight, and it has this nice handle here on top, because many times when I take a shower in the albergue, they rarely have hooks or anything. So I find it very useful to put all the things that I want to wear after my shower in here and just hang this little pouch somewhere. So all of this goes in there, and I just shove it there at the bottom of the main compartment together with the sleeping bag. I also brought a towel. This one is from Sea to Summit and it dries extremely fast. And here are my toiletries. So for my toiletries, I kind of stripped it down to the bare necessities, and to save some weight, I just transport it in this 1-liter Ziplock bag. And in there, I just keep my trusty Matador soap pouch. Inside I have, as always, a Dove beauty bar inside of one of those soap savers that I like very much to help it foam up. And this on the Camino I used for everything. So I use it to wash myself, but also to wash my hair and also my clothes. And that actually seems to work quite well. The next item in here is my dry oil from Cattier. If you watched a few of my other toiletry videos, you may already know this. I always just use a few drops for my face and also for my body instead of a moisturizer or instead of a lotion, but I also use it on my hair. And as you can see, I do not need very much of it, so it lasts a long time. It comes in a 100 milliliter container, but for this trip I just refilled it into this small 30 milliliter container, and I'm very glad that I brought it. Next in here I just have a foldable hairbrush. I just picked up a very cheap one from one of the drugstores in Austria. I brought some sunscreen for my face, but as soon as this one will be used up, I just use the one that I bought for my body. I don't care too much if my face is shiny during the Camino. In here I have just a small anti-perspirant. I wrapped it into this paper cloth because it was leaking a little bit. I brought some eye drops for my allergies. And the last three things in here is just my dental care. I brought a small travel-sized toothpaste. I brought some floss. And my husband brought his Philips One toothbrush, so I just needed to bring the head for me, and I'm sharing the handle with him. And this is already everything I brought in terms of toiletries. Also just go in there. The next pouch that I have here is the one that I usually keep next to my bed. It has all the essentials that I want to have every night, and many things you will recognize because I bring them on almost every trip. And in here I have my Soundcore sleep buds, which are awesome in the dorm rooms, in the albergs. I have my tiny tool, as always, my little flashlight. I brought just some tissues, a face mask. I brought a little ball out of cork to roll my feet out at night. I also brought my QB to automatically pack up my pictures, and some chapstick, and a little bit of medicine. So just a few things that I want to have next to my bed. This little pouch here is my snack pouch, and as Everson called it at the moment, it's the pouch of empty bags. I just have a few empty Ziplock bags here in the moment, but I usually keep some salted nuts and things in there. I also have a knife, spoon, fork that I picked up at a supermarket and I hold on to during the duration. I brought some Doggy bags as trash bags to take my trash with me. And this little bag from Peak Design is out of a stretch material, so even if I buy more snacks for the road, it fits in there, so it has been very nice for me. And then in this little pouch, I keep all my valuables. I keep them in the Sea to Summit dry bag to keep them safe from the rain. And what I have in here is just a little spare bag with some miscellaneous things that I want to have on me all the time. I brought my Insta360 camera and some accessories, which I never used until now. I thought that I would film with it every day, but so far I never was in the mood to do it. So it's basically that weight I'm carrying, exactly the same as my iPad mini. I originally wanted to leave it at home and not do any work on this trip, but in the last moment I chickened out and decided to pack it, because just in case there is some work to do or something, I would have it. Until now I never used it, so it's more dead weight, but since I get to edit this video now, at least it will get some use. And then I have one more bag in here where I just keep my valuables. So I have my wallet in here, I have my passport in here, I have a little notebook in here, and I also have my pilgrim's passport where I get to collect my stamps, and is already starting to fill up quite nicely. And I usually keep this pouch just here on top to have it handy when we arrive in the albergs. I usually don't need it during the day because I always pay with my Apple Watch. And another pouch that I like to keep on top here is our medikit. So here in this pouch, Everson and me have our shared medikit, or the feet care kit. It's a very lightweight pouch that I picked up at Decathlon, and it has a little bit of organization. In the top compartment here, I just keep some spare painkillers and things. Here in this middle compartment, I keep my nail care kit. And in here I keep my small scissors, small nail clippers, this little tool to take care of my cuticles, my bite away, which helps with insect bites, because I was worried that the bed bugs would bite me. I have a small file which is out of paper, so it's very lightweight. And I just brought some needles and some yarn to take care of blisters if necessary. So far I luckily did not get any blisters yet, but you never know. And also in here I have a pair of pliers. There's a little bit more room in this last compartment down here. So this is where we just keep some cream for the legs. Actually 2 creams for the legs that we picked up in the pharmacies here in Spain. I also brought some Hycas wool and also some Leukoplast. I always make sure that this pouch is easily accessible when we're walking, and so far it was very nice to have all of those things together in just one pouch. And it also just fits up here. So now my main compartment is packed, and since I have some valuables in there, I brought one of those S-beaners to just clip the 2 zippers together and give it a little bit more security. Now we have a few more compartments to pack. So here in the front is this one for my main things. Then I also have two side pockets here on the side. And I also got this nice stretchy compartment here in the front. So in one of the side pockets, I usually use to stuff my flip-flops. I just bought very cheap flip-flops from a dollar store before we left because they're extremely lightweight and great to shower with. In the other side, I usually transport my Grail water purifier. Yes, Spain has potable water in most places. And also on the Camino, there's lots of fountains that give you water. But there's also lots of fountains that is not clear if the water is drinkable. And also, just because it's drinkable does not mean it tastes good. So I'm very spoiled when it comes to my water, and I prefer to bring my water purifier with me. And with that, I have zero worries if I will get any water anywhere. And since the capacity of my Grail bottle is only half a liter, there's some stretches when the water is a little bit more rare. And in those incidences, I just bring another bottle full of water that I picked up anywhere on the road and just stuff it in there as well. Here in this front compartment, I just keep two things that I want to have accessible at the road all the time. So I always bring some snacks for the stray cats, and I also bring some sunscreen. And then during the day, if I take off my windbreaker or something, I will just stuff it as well into this front compartment. And what you can see dangling here is my gear tie. This has been extremely useful. I use it to form a hook and hang it in the shower to help with hanging up my things. We turned it into a lock for the door, all kinds of things. So I'm very glad that I brought this. Now up here in this compartment, it's not too deep, only goes about to here. I already have some spare tissues and some wet wipes. And what I usually put in there is my sunglasses, my nano bag for groceries, which has been awesome, not just for groceries, but also when I sleep in bunk beds that have no wall around them, I can just put all my things in here and tie them to the bed frame, and then I can be sure that it does not fall down somewhere during the night. I keep my power bank and also my charger and a charging cable, because these are the things that I usually want to grab as soon as I have the opportunity to charge something. And now almost everything is packed. I just have here this little zipper pouch that I use to transport the microphones that I bought for this trip. I did not want to bring my expensive ones, so I just bought cheap ones. I hope the audio quality is okay. And this usually goes into my valuables pouch where I have the Insta360 camera. And the two last things are my headband that I wear almost every day because it's great against the sun, but also great on colder weather, and also my AirPods, which have been extremely useful because a lot of the time the Camino goes right next to a highway or another road full of cars. And then I'm always very glad to just pop in my headphones and listen to something. And at first I thought I would leave them at home and just use my sleep buds, since I can also use them to listen to music. But at the end I did not want to have something that seals my ear. And on this one I can put them on transparency mode and hear what I want to hear, but also hear my surroundings. And I usually keep them here in the hip strap. There's two pockets. So one is a little zippered pocket where I keep those two things, and also a little cloth to clean my glasses. And on the other side of the hip strap, there is just a little stretch pocket that I use to keep some tissues. And there's one more thing that I forgot. Here in the back of my backpack, there is this water bladder compartment. And in here, I usually always keep this very lightweight seat mat, which is very, very useful to sit down on the Camino, especially on all the rainy days when the benches and everything is wet. And I guess that's it. We're fully packed and ready to go and tackle the last few 100 kilometers until Santiago, and then we move on to the ocean. And I'm already planning when I come home that I will do a video on how those things worked out for me, like a after trip review kind of thing. I may also do one more video about the Camino and how we planned it and all those things. So if you want to see that, or if you have any questions, let me know. Also, let me know if you want to see what my husband brought, so I can talk him into doing a video as well. And other than that, thanks for watching, and I see you in the next video. Buen Camino!